Hello, we're reading from Derek Bell's Faces at the Bottom of the Well, and we're reading about alien traders who want to trade goods that the U.S. needs for black bodies. That's the section we're reading from. So let's continue. Justin Jasper, a well-known and highly respected Baptist minister, came to the microphone. I readily concede Dr. Golightly's expertise in the psychology of whites thinking. Furthermore, as he requests, I hold in abeyance my deep distrust of a black man whose willing service to whites has led him to become a master minstrel of political mimicry. But my problem with his plan is twofold. First, it rings hollow because it so resembles Dr. Golightly's consistent opposition in the past to all our civil rights initiatives. Once again, he's urging us to accept rather than oppose a racist policy. And yet, not only are we not to resist, but we are to beg the country to lead us to the sacrificial altar. God may have the power, but Dr. Golightly is not my God. The Reverend Jasper was a master orator, and he quickly had his audience with him. Second, because the proposal lacks truth. It insults my soul. In the 40 years I have worked for civil rights, I have lost more battles than I have won, but I have never lost my integrity. Telling the truth about racism has put me in prison and many of my co-workers into early graves. The truth is, Dr. Golightly, that what this country is ready to do to us is wrong. It is evil. It is an action so heinous as to give the word betrayal a bad name. I can speak only for myself, but even if I was certain that my family and I could escape the threat we now face by lying about our likely fate, and Dr. Golightly, that is what you're asking us to do, I do not choose to save myself by a tactic that may preserve my body at the sacrifice of my soul. The fact is, Dr. Golightly, until my Lord calls me home, I do not want to leave this country even for a land of milk and honey. My people were brought here involuntarily, and that is the only way they're going to get me out. The Reverend Jasper received a standing ovation. Many people were crying openly as they applauded. After thanking them, the minister asked everyone to join in singing the old 19th century hymn, Amazing Grace, which he reminded them had been written by an English minister, one John Newton, who as a young man and before finding God's grace had been captain of a slave ship. It was with the special fervor that they sang the verse. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Twas grace that brought me safe this far, and grace will lead me home. With the hymn's melody still resonating, the coalition's members voted unanimously to approve their defensive package. The meeting was quickly adjourned. Leaving the hall, everyone agreed that they had done all that could be done to oppose approval of the space trade's offer. As for Golightly, his proposal was dismissed as coming from a person who, in their view, had so often sold out black interests. He's a sad case. Even with this crisis, he's just doing what he's always done. Again, as after the president's cabinet meeting, Golightly sat for a long time alone, he did not really mind that no one of the delegates had spoken to him before leaving. But he was crushed by his failure to get them to recognize that what he had long known, that without power, a people must use cunning and guile, or were cunning and guile based on superior understanding of a situation, themselves power. Certainly, most black people knew and used this art to survive in their everyday contacts with white people. It was only civil rights professionals who confessed integrity with foolhardiness. Faith in God is fine, Golightly muttered to himself, but God expects us to use the common sense he gave us to get out of life-threatening situations. Still, castigation of black leadership could not alter the fact. Golightly had failed and he knew it. Sure, he was smarter than they were, smarter even than most whites, but he had finally outsmarted himself. At the crucial moment when he most needed to help his people, both whites and blacks had rejected as untrustworthy both himself and his plans. And that's why you cannot play both sides, because in the end, neither one will trust you. And that's just the bottom line. You have to choose a side, especially in the conceptual realm. Either you're going to be an anti racist or racist, and that could be anybody. People who are oppressed by racism can be racist. They could serve the system. As a matter of fact, many of us do. You can be for justice or injustice. You can be for empathy or indifference. You can't play the middle. So this whole compromise, playing the middle, triangulation is a fraud, and I'm sad for anybody that does that. Until next time, I want to say I appreciate your support, and I want to tell you to take care of your mind, take care of your body, and be safe.